Tonight on News Prime. Helicopter on oil and gas service with 8 persons on board crashes in Port Harcourt. 3 bodies recovered. BRICS, a multi-nation group, as Nigeria 12 new nations as partner countries. In business, World Bank plans internet access for 300 million women by 2030. On the foreign scene, Nigeria's ex-Prime Minister Amadu dies at 74. And in sports, Wambali, Onana, other nominees for Goalkeeper of the Year. Hello and a very warm welcome to all our viewers in Nigeria and around the world to News Prime on Global Television, coming to you live from the nation's capital, Abuja. I am Wigi Azumofwebe. A quick reminder that Global Television is on DSTV channel 365 and Nightcom start free to air. Tonight we'll begin by telling you President Bola Tinubu has sought the National Assembly's confirmation of the new ministerial nominees announced on Wednesday. The president's request was contained in a letter addressed to the Senate President Godswill Akpabio and read at the beginning of plenary. He sought for expeditious consideration of his request by the Senate. The ministerial nominees, as contained in the letter, are Minister of Humanitarian Affairs and Poverty Reduction, Dr. Nentawe Yilwada, Minister of Labor and Employment, Muhammadu Meigari Dengadi, and Minister of State Foreign Affairs, Bianca Odinaka Odumegu Ojukwu, among others. On a side note tonight, a helicopter on oil and gas shuttle service has crashed off the coast of Port Harcourt, River State. The tragic accident involved a Sikorsky SK-76 helicopter operated by East Wind Aviation and was en route from Port Harcourt military base to the Nuana oil rig when it disappeared, indicating a crash. A statement signed by Head Press and Public Relations at the Ministry of Aviation and Aerospace Development, Odutayo Oluseyi, says the chopper with 8 persons on board crashed into the waters near Bonny Finima in the Atlantic Ocean. The ministry says the Nigerian Safety Investigation Bureau had been notified and emergency response teams were immediately activated and search and rescue operations were ongoing with the support of search and rescue units, authority, the National Safety Investigation Bureau, and other relevant agencies. Meanwhile, Minister of Aviation and Aerospace Development Festus Kayamo has visited the Secretary General of the World Meteorological Organization, Professor Andrea Solo, to solicit operational support for the Nigeria Meteorological Agency, NIMET. Kayamo stated this in a post via his X handle. He centered his request on areas of capacity building and launching a national roadmap in respect of the early warnings for all initiative by the United Nations, among others. The minister, accompanied by Director General of the Nigeria Meteorological Agency, Professor Charles Anosike, Nigeria's permanent representative to the United Nations in Geneva, Switzerland, Ambassador Abiodun Adejola, among others, also requested the organization's support for NIMET in implementing digital climate advisory services for sectoral activities in Nigeria. Newly elected chairmen in last Saturday's local government election in Kaduna State have received their certificates of return from the Kaduna State Independent Electoral Commission. It is worth noting that the local government polls generated mixed reactions in the state as opposition parties rejected the results declared by the state electoral body, which stated that the ruling party won all the local government areas and councillorship seats. During the presentation of certificates at the Commission's headquarters in Kaduna, Commission's Chairman Ajara Mohammed stated that the election was conducted across the state in accordance with the Kaduna State Electoral Law 2024. President Bola Tinubu has sworn in Dr. Abdullahi Usman Bello as the new chairman of the Code of Conduct Bureau, CCB. The brief ceremony took place ahead of the Federal Executive Council meeting, which was also chaired by the president. Sharon Ajay has details.
After the swearing-in, Dr. Bello spoke to State House correspondents, pledging to tackle corruption through the Bureau. He emphasized the importance of integrity and accountability among public officials, vowing to uphold the agency's mandate. He acknowledged the global nature to corruption but highlighted the significance of having strong systems in place to mitigate it.
I always say that it's not about the individuals. Everybody can be corrupt in the world. It doesn't matter whether you are in the UK, whether in the US, everybody has a tendency to be corrupt. One of the most important things is the systems that we have in place to check it. So if we have the systems in Nigeria, we are going to deal with this problem. So I assure you that we have the systems, we have the institutions. We only need to deliver on the mandate that is given to us.
The CCB, Nigeria's foremost anti-corruption agency, has the mandate in ensuring that public servants act with integrity and avoid conflict of interest. Sharon Ajay reporting for Global TV News.
Well, thank you, Sharon. The Olowa of Igboroke Oba Adefarakanmi Agbede says traditional rulers in Ondo State have endorsed Governor Lucky Orimiso Ayedatiwa for the November 16 governorship election. The monarch stated these while receiving the governor on a courtesy and consultation as well as engagement visit in his palace at Igboroke, headquarters of Ifedore local government area, as part of the campaign tour of the governor to the area. Kekalama Okere was there for Global Television. We'll turn to other stories for you now. BRICS has officially expanded its alliance, adding 13 new nations as partner countries through, though not all full members. The announcement was made during the BRICS summit held in Kazan, Russia, from October 22 to 24, 2024. The 2024 summit themed Strengthening Multilateralism for Fair Global Development and Security marked the 16th annual gathering of the bloc with a focus on enhancing economic integration with key emerging nations. The Defense Headquarters has confirmed the arrest of one of the founding fathers of the indigenous people of Biafra, Pius Igu. Director of Defense Media Operations, Major General Edward Buba, who confirmed the arrest during the bi-weekly briefing of operational activities of the armed forces, explains that Pius Igu is responsible for criminal activities in Orosu area in Imo State. Let's join Sharon Ajay for the rest of the story.
It is another opportunity for the military to update the media on their operational activities across the country. The Director, Defense Media Operations, Major General Edward Buba, says troops are not relenting in the fight against terrorism, which resulted in the arrest of some key actors.
The troops of Operation Udoka, Forward Operational Base Osu, in a sting operation, apprehended a terrorist leader belonging to the indigenous people of Biafra and the Eastern Security Network terrorist group, known as Mr. Pius Igu.
The director says the ongoing military operations have successfully curbed large-scale oil theft, recovering over 1.75 billion naira worth of stolen crude oil in the past week.
During the week under review, troops neutralized 140 terrorists and arrested 135 of them, thereby destroying their fighting capabilities and weakening their military capabilities as well. The troops also rescued 76 kidnapped hostages, which is indicative of our commitment to guarantee the safety and security of citizens, which we will continue to do more of that.
The Military High Command further calls on citizens to continue to support the military's efforts, emphasizing the importance of collaboration in combating terrorism and illegal activities. Sharon Ajay reporting for Global TV News.
In another development, the Defense Headquarters has explained how non-state actors have been obtaining arms. According to the Military High Command, the Libyan conflict and instability in the Sahel have allowed arms to flow into Nigeria, exacerbating the country's insurgency and terrorism crisis. Director of Defense Media Operations, Major General Edward Buba, disclosed this in response to allegations made by the National Security Advisor, Nuhu Ribadu, who had said a sizable number of illicit arms used to commit crimes in the country originally belonged to the government. Minister of Defense Mohammed Badaru has ordered troops of Operation Fansayama to arrest the notorious bandit leader Bello Turji. The minister gave the order while addressing the troops at the 1 Brigade headquarters in Gusau, Zamfara State. Sharon Ajay has more.
The Minister of Defense Mohammed Badaru, who is in Zamfara State for operational visit to the headquarters of Joint Task Force Northwest Operation Fansayama, also visited Zamfara State Governor Dauda Lawal in an effort to tackle the menace of insecurity bedeviling the state. The minister applauded the commitment of Governor Dauda Lawal in restoring peace in Zamfara State, while reiterating President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's commitment to improve the welfare of troops and restoring peace across the country. While addressing the troops, the minister ordered troops of Operation Fansayama to arrest the notorious bandit leader Bello Turji.
And I want to assure you that the federal government is committed to seeing the improvement of security and peace restored in Zamfara State and the country. And I assure you that President is doing all he can to support the armed forces and the states to make sure that security is restored.
In his address, Governor Dauda Lawal reaffirms his government's total support to the military to win the war.
As responsible government, we are doing our best, and we are cooperating with all the security agencies in terms of any kind of assistance ranging from logistics, in order to make them also comfortable to be able to perform their function effectively. We are committed to that. And I'm assuring the Honorable Minister, as well as the Theatre Commander and GOC, that Zamfara State remain committed to provide any assistance that you require.
The minister's visit is coming barely 48 hours after Governor Dauda Lawal and his Katsina State counterpart Diko Rada visited the minister and the NSA in Abuja. Sharon Ajay reporting for Global TV News.
Thank you, Sharon Ajay. You're watching News Prime on Global Television, coming to you live from Nigeria's capital, Abuja. When News Prime returns tonight, Palestinian ambassador alleges over 170,000 killed, 6 end to carnage. Details of these and other foreign stories for you after this break. Do stay with us. This is Global Television bringing you live broadcast of News Prime. Thank you everyone for staying with us. Let's turn to business for you. Minister of Finance and Coordinating Minister of the Economy, Wale Edun, has confirmed that the federal government plans to raise value-added tax VAT to 15%. This is as he clarified that the increase would primarily affect luxury goods. Speaking at an investor meeting during the ongoing IMF World Bank annual meetings in Washington, D.C., Edun explained that the bill currently before the National Assembly aims to gradually raise VAT on luxury goods, while essential items consumed by poor and vulnerable Nigerians will remain exempt from VAT or attract a zero rate. He noted that the list of essential goods exempted from VAT will be made available to the public in due course. The World Bank President Ajay Banga has unveiled plans to connect 300 million women to the internet by 2030. This initiative is part of the World Bank's broader strategy to tackle gender inequality and spur economic development, ensuring that women are not excluded from the global digital revolutions. The program will prioritize areas where women face the greatest challenges, including 15 African countries, and will combine digital connectivity with skills development and access to financial services. The federal government and private sector stakeholders have called for the nationwide adoption of a market-led extension service model driven by micro, small and medium enterprises, MSMEs, as a sustainable solution to agricultural productivity. This is among the key issues discussed at the National Agricultural Extension Service Impact Sharing Workshop held in Abuja with the theme Innovations in Market-Led Extension Service Delivery in Nigeria. Minister of Agriculture and Food Security, Abubakar Kyari, represented by Director, Federal Department of Agricultural Extension Services, Dr. Deola Lodge-Banjo, stressed the vital role of pluralistic agricultural extension services in exchanging and achieving food sufficiency and transforming Nigeria's agricultural landscape. The minister noted that MSMEs have transformed into extension delivery firms through training and coaching. The Nigerian National Petroleum Company Limited, NNPCL, has officially commenced the process of settling its $6 billion debt. This is according to the Minister of Finance and Coordinating Minister of the Economy, Wale Edun. While addressing concerns about the NNPCL's financial situation, which had become stressed due to its outstanding obligations to suppliers, explained that although the fuel subsidy was removed in May 2023, the company faced financial challenges due to foreign exchange costs. The House of Representatives has urged the Central Bank of Nigeria to issue more new 200, 500 and 1,000 Naira currency notes and begin the gradual withdrawal of the old Naira notes from circulation before the deadline of December 31, 2024. The House also asked the CBN to order commercial banks to forthwith stop cash payments to their customers with owed 200, 500 and 1,000 Naira notes, but instead engage in gradual mopping up of the old Naira notes, urging the Apex Bank to kickstart awareness programs for Nigerians to be aware and prepare for the deadline of December 31, 2024. The resolutions follows the adoption of a motion moved by a member representing Ogbaru Federal Constituency of Anambra State, Afam Victor Ogene, at plenary as he recalled the hardship, frustration, controversy, and chaotic situation occasioned by CBN's Naira redesign policy in 2023 that affected the validity of the old 200, 500, and 1,000 Naira notes at the time that resulted in litigations. On the foreign scene, Chinese President Xi Jinping has said that the world is facing serious challenges. Xi, speaking to leaders of BRICS emerging economies on the final day of the summit in the Russian city of Kazan, urged the group to be a stabilizing force. Addressing assembled leaders, Xi said the common march of the global south towards modernity is a major event in world history. Russian President Vladimir Putin has told BRICS summit that the Middle East is on the verge of full-scale war. Putin told the meeting in Kazan, attended by several world leaders, that the military action that started a year ago in Gaza has now spread to Lebanon. Other countries in the region are also affected. He noted that violence in the Middle East will not end until the creation of an independent Palestinian state. Palestinian ambassador to Nigeria, Abdullah Abdul Shawesh, says the conflict in Gaza is not a humanitarian crisis, but a U.S.-Israel genocide purportedly with the largest home of child amputees in modern history. Ambassador Shawesh stated that during a press briefing in Abuja, where he noted that 171 infants have been killed. Global Television's correspondent Anthony Momodu tells us more.
The Palestinian ambassador stated that a total of 35,055 children are allegedly living without parents, 11,673 women and 1,047 medical staff and 117 journalists killed. He described the alleged disturbing figures of lives lost in the Gaza conflict as worrisome and inhuman.
It is not a humanitarian crisis. It is the United States of America Israeli genocide, period. Kol Asbadi, Sbadi. Gaza is home for the largest cohort of children and youths in modern history. The smell of death is everywhere as bodies are left lying on the roads or under the rubble. In North Gaza, people are just waiting to die. They feel deserted, hopeless, and alone.
He stressed the urgent need of the world to speak up against the war crimes perpetrated by Israel, assuring the press and the rest of the world of the accuracy and authenticity of statistics of casualties of the 384th day conflict.
Silence is required when children sleep, not when they are slaughtered like sheep, right in the front of the world's eyes. Silence is complicity. Blinken and the United States of America is part of the problem, not the solution.
Reports of death toll from the Gaza conflict are disturbing and should prompt actions from world leaders and agencies to end the unjust carnage. Anthony Momodu reporting for Global Television.
Hama Hamadu, former Prime Minister of Nigeria, renowned for its political resilience and comebacks, has died at the age of 74 in Niamey. That's according to his family. Reports say the giant of Nigerian politics passed away overnight from Wednesday to Thursday after contracting malaria. Tributes have flooded social media for Hamadu, who served as Prime Minister from 1995 to 1996 under President Momani Osman, and again from 2000 to 2007 under President Mahmoud Tanja. He later became Speaker of Parliament from 2011 to 2014. Commonwealth heads of governments are preparing to defy the United Kingdom and agree plans to examine preparatory and reparatory justice for the transatlantic slave trade. Downing Street insists the issue is not on the agenda for the summit of 56 Commonwealth countries, which begins in the Pacific island nation of Samoa, but diplomatic sources say officials were negotiating an agreement to conduct further search and begin a meaningful conversation about an issue which could potentially leave the United Kingdom owing billions of pounds in reparations. In sport now, Super Eagles of Nigeria have moved up by 3 points to place World 36th in the October FIFA ranking. In the ranking table on the website of the World Football Governing Body, Nigeria garnered 1503.29 points within the period under review. The senior men's national team defeating Libya in the first leg match of the Africa Cup of Nations qualifiers in Uyo also reflected positively on the continental position as the team ranked fourth behind Morocco, Senegal and Egypt instead of the 6th spots they had occupied in September. Super Eagles goalkeeper Stanley Nwabali has been nominated for the prestigious 2024 CAF Goalkeeper of the Year award. A post by CAF via X revealed that the short stopper joins a distinguished list of 10 nominees representing the cream of African goalkeeping talent. The nomination sees Nwabali competing alongside established names in African football, including Morocco's Yassine Bonu, now in Saudi Arabia, Egyptian goalkeeper Mostafa Choubert, and Senegal's Djidji Diarra. As we end Global Television's News Prime tonight, let's take a quick look at some of our top stories. Helicopter on oil and gas service with 8 persons on board has crashed in Port Harcourt, Rivers State, with 3 bodies recovered. The BRICS, an intergovernmental organization comprising Brazil, Russia, India, China, South Africa, Iran, Egypt, Ethiopia, and the United Arab Emirates, has added Nigeria and 12 new nations as partner countries. In business, the World Bank has announced plans to provide internet access to 300 million women by 2030. On the foreign scene, Nigeria's ex-prime minister has died at age 74. And finally, in sport, we told you Nwabali, Onana, and other nominees have been listed for the Goalkeeper of the Year award. And that's it on Global Television News Prime, and it came to you live from Nigeria's capital, Abuja. A quick reminder that we are on DSTV, channel 365, free to air on Nigecomsat and StarTimes 276. Don't forget to follow us across all social media platforms using the handle at Global TVNG. I'm Uyi Agmofwegwe. On behalf of the entire production team here at Global Television Headquarters in Abuja, Nigeria capital, we say thank you and have a good night.